My name is Ron Harpel, and I'm co-director with the Advanced Institute for Globalization and Culture at Lakehead University. Our mandate essentially is to reach out to the community, and in particular we're interested in the cultural community and also in aspects of globalization and what that means in cities like Thunder Bay. I'd like you to offer a warm welcome to Jeanette Lynes, who's here to share a little bit of her understanding of Thunder Bay and why it's great to write about Thunder Bay, and tell you a little bit about her book and her experience since publishing it. So, welcome, Jeanette.
It's wonderful just to be back in my former home and back into the landscape and the culture that inspired my novel. You may not all be familiar with the novel. The Factory Voice is historical fiction. The story takes place in Fort William from 1941 until around the end of World War II. And it narrates the trials and tribulations of a group of workers, mostly women, but not all, who are building warplanes at a fictional plant called Fort William Aviation. The title of the novel, The Factory Voice, refers to the in-house plant newspaper that one of the novel's characters, who is an ambitious stenographer named Ruby Kozak, is writing throughout the story. Orville Loftus flies south. He gradually lowers the plane a couple of thousand feet. You'll see more that way, he says. Mount McKay looks like a big squashed muffin, thinks Florence. Wait till Audrey Foley sees that. They pass over Flo's old high school, where she'd failed to graduate. The fancy houses near Vickers Park, built by lumber barons, their turrets and all-around verandas, their gardening sheds larger than her entire house. They don't look as fancy from up here, they just take up more space, she thinks. There's the Niebing streetcar bumbling along its course. Now they're above Fort William Aviation, 3 enormous boxes and a smaller one, head office, the tiny courtyard between. There's sub-assembly, where she'd riveted and welded and cried in the bathroom so often because of her red scarf. There's the plant parking lot, where she'd sat with Jimmy and his DeSoto, and suddenly, to her dismay, Florence starts to blubber. Jimmy has been writing to her from overseas, but his letters are spotty and strange. As they pass over Bishop's Field, she thinks about those letters, folded in the drawer of her night table beside the blue-gray toque, the small boxes of her life. Historical fiction is quite a fraught sort of project. This relationship between fiction and real life is, it's an interesting one. There is a tendency to take what is read as truth. So it's kind of an interesting process to reflect on, the process of story making and its relation to real life. And at this juncture, now that the novel is out, I did not in any way theorize when I was writing the novel. I didn't set out with any theories of historical fiction or, to my knowledge, even theorize the story at all while I was writing it. In fact, I had a very hard time writing it, hence the 7 years. And this little thing called plot just about made me give up a couple of times. So I was not sort of working on some high conceptual level at all. I was just really trying to hammer out this story. Most of the plot choices that I made were just really pragmatic. For example, what character needed to be where and when and to what ends. A lot like everyday life, just logistics.